What's up guys, AFC Dino here and welcome to a new video. It's been a while since I've been last active. I once again want to thank everyone who supported me in this rough time. And yeah, I'm slowly getting back into the game. I haven't really touched it meanwhile, so a bunch of new hidden abilities, and yeah, I still need to get them all. Still need to get the Nidoking, but we are going to cover Nidoking today. Basically, I'm giving you guys a competitive analysis on PokeMMO for Nidoking. Basically, giving you guys some movesets and explaining how to play and use Nidoking. So hopefully you guys are excited for this video. If you are, make sure to hit that like button, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get more PokeMMO PvP content. Not only battles, guides as well, and these competitive analysis on certain Pokemon too. And let me know in the comments as well, which Pokemon would you like me to cover next. There are a bunch of new hidden abilities released, so I am excited to play this again. I have to farm them all again though, because I have to catch up a bit. But yeah, we'll definitely get there. Anyway, Nidoking, guys. Nidoking. Like, Nidoking is a very scary wall breaker in OU. And definitely in PokeMMO as well. Because he has a huge move pool. And his sheer force ability combined with the life just makes it kind of impossible to switch in if you don't have a dedicated special wall. The one thing Nidoking does suffer against is Pokemon who are faster than him, because his speed tier is okay, but it's not incredible. So you have a bunch of Pokemon that actually, a bunch of offensive Pokemon that actually outspeed Nidoking. So that makes Nidoking kind of worse against hyper offensive teams, because most of the hyper offensive Pokemon will outspeed Nidoking, but it makes him amazing against balanced and bulky offense, because they usually don't have a dedicated special wall. If they like a chance your Blissey, Nidoking will usually smash right through them. But yeah, let's open up the Alpha Dex, because yeah, it's here. So if we open up the Alpha Dex and go to Nidoking, as you guys can see, his hidden ability is Sheer Force, basically giving him it's a move. Basically giving him a 30% stat boost in his special attack when using it's 30% extra damage in moves that have a secondary effect. So Ice Beam, for example, has a chance to freeze, Flamethrower has a chance to burn, so those kind of moves get a 30% boost, but the trade-off that the secondary effect won't work. So you cannot freeze with Ice Beam anymore due to getting the boost. You cannot burn with Flamethrower anymore. But yeah, Nidoking has some amazing moves of different types he can use. So he makes a lot of use out of this ability. And another effect of Sheer Force is that you don't take recoil from Life Orb. So if you combine those items, Sheer Force already gets 30%, and Life Orb also gives 30%. Basically giving him a 60% damaging boost, so it's actually stronger than running in choice packs, while being able to switch up moves. So the only trait is that he cannot get the secondary effect of the move, but you still have the chance to crit as well. So this Pokemon can definitely be really scary. And that's why I said, even if you have a special defensive wall, Nidoking will probably have a super effective attack against it. And even if his stab moves are not super effective, they will still do a lot of damage if they are just neutral. But yeah, like, scary monster. Look at his base stats. So it has 85 speed, and this basically means it's faster than Togekiss, it's faster than Gyarados, it's faster than, but actually I think he speed ties with Dragonite, but Dragonite is usually adamant, so it's most times it's faster than Dragonite. It's faster than Mamoswine. No, he doesn't like a Bandit or Life Orb Ice Shard, but it's faster. Most Rotom washes are defensive. If Rotom is running max speed, Rotom is obviously faster. But yeah, it is slower than things like Jolly Excadrill. Slower than Garchomp, of course, Hydreigon, Mienshao, everything gets faster than that. So against offensive mods, it's usually slower. But yeah, an amazing wall breaker. If you get the Sin against Ferrothorn and click Flamethrower, he dies. It's faster than Scizor, of course. Sludge Wave 2 hit KOs Rotom, doesn't matter if it's specially defensive. So that's kinda insane. And yeah, it's just such a crazy monster. And yeah, his attack stat, guys, is really high. It's not high, but it's higher than his other stats. But his physical move pool lacks base power. Like, you have amazing coverage in Ice Punch and such, but those moves are way weaker than his special attacks. And if he uses a physical set, he gets completely walled by shit like Hippowdon. Skarmory as well, because they cannot 2-hit KO, and yeah, they are Nidoking cannot 2-hit KO them, and they usually have things like Rocky Helmet, so Nidoking is just gonna suffer. So I wouldn't recommend running a physical offensive set on Nidoking. Go special. You can make a case for Modest, you can make a case for Timid. I like Timid, but in the PokeMMO meta, you can kind of get away with Modest, because there aren't many Pokemon that actually make use of their speed tier between let's say Dragonite, between Nidoking. Stogekiss these days doesn't really run Timid anymore. I still like to be faster than that. However, Breloom usually likes to run Jolly. Dragonite likes to run Adamant. And Kingdra usually likes to run Modest on rain team, so if he's outside of rain, Nidoking will be faster as well. So yeah, it's something that is holding him back. One thing that is holding him back as well is he can only run 4 moves. But so he usually either lacks like Thunderbolt or Flamethrower. Because usually Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and Ice Beam, those are his bread and butters. It's amazing coverage, and the last move is whatever. But yeah, let's get into the movesets, because it might be interesting. So let me do this. So we're gonna go over the first moveset. This is usually... Oh, no. This is usually the moveset Nidoking will run. So Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Flamethrower. I have it with a Timid set, but like I said, you can... I'm pretty sure you can get away with Modest, because there aren't many Pokemon that are run... that you will encounter that outspeeds Modest Nidoking, but is slower than Timid Nidoking. So you can get away, and it gives a lot of additional power. But overall, Timid gives a lot of damage too. So it's just preference. I'll most likely run Timid because of the next set, because I will not have 10 Nidokings like I have. Like I have a million Garchomps, but I cannot do the same with Nidoking, because yeah, it is a hidden ability. But yeah, Sludge Wave, just his strongest move in this move pool, in his special move pool, which is Stab. Like Sludge Wave hits. Sludge Wave is the move you'll click if you want to hit something that you don't have a super effective move against. So think about the Rotom Washes. For example, you click Sludge Wave, and yeah, Earth Power, really good against Steel types. As a good mid ground, but it also hits. It's pretty much KOs. Weezing, doesn't matter if Weezing nullifies the sheer force ability, still gets a life or boost. Weezing is still gonna die. Tentacruel, probably gonna die unless it's runs max speed def, and it probably lives. We'll have to do the calc later. Ice Beam, of course, hitting things like Gliscor, but also things on switches like maybe Garchomp wants to switch into this. Because Garchomp can live a Sludge Wave, because he resists the attack. He can live an Earth Power, can live a Flamethrower, so you can get some ground types with and dragon types with predictions. Dragonite as well, if he hasn't Dragonite up yet, you can just Ice Beam him. A lot of Salamences are defensive. Hydreigon cannot 1-hit KO you, so you can retaliate back with Ice Beam, Sheer Force, Life Orb boosted Ice Beam, which will most likely knock him out. And Flamethrower hits the Scissors, hits the Ferrothorns. Mainly Ferrothorn, because if you don't have Flamethrower, Ferrothorn can be really annoying, because Earth Power doesn't do it KOs to death Ferrothorn, while he can Leech Sheet Recover, Protect, get a Gyro Ball or Power Whip in return. I'm not gonna like it, so just being able to 1-hit KO the guy is really nice. And yeah, this is most likely the move. This gives you the most coverage. The reason we run Flamethrower over Thunderbolt is, like I said, Ferrothorn will otherwise completely wall you, and against a lot of water types, a Sludge Wave is still gonna be super strong. Most of the time 2-hit KOing unless they are like fully Spadef. But yeah, that's this Nidoking set. Let's go on to the next Nidoking set. Next we have Choice Scarf. So, like we mentioned before, Nidoking speed tier isn't amazing, but with the Choice Scarf, it outspeeds the whole metagame, aside from... I actually think it outspeeds Ninjas, because well, my Ninjas is gonna protect anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't outspeed Jolly Ninjaska, but most Ninjas are adamant. But yeah, with the Choice Scarf, it suddenly outspeeds things like Garchomp, Superior, Crobat, Jolteon. Like, it basically outspeeds everything, and those offensive Pokemon will usually die in one hit. This time we are running Thunderbolt, because we want to be able to hit things like Gyarados with Dragon Dance up, because you are faster than Gyarados. If Dragon Dance is up once, you're still fast, so you can still knock him out with the Thunderbolt. We knock out Starmie as well with the Thunderbolt. Really important. And obviously, like the Ice Beams, hitting things like Dragonite, Salamence with Dragon Dance up. Even I've seen some Hydreigons with Dragon Dance, but it also gives you coverage against Superior, even though you can click Sludge Wave. But yeah, if your opponent has a Steel type and you're able to knock out the Superior with Ice Beam, you click Ice Beam, of course. Nice against Crobat as well. Yeah, so just gives you a lot of. It's really good against offensive teams, but it does make you weaker against defensive Pokemon, because suddenly Spadef Hippowdon will be able to wall the Nidoking because he's lacking the Life Orb. So it's basically a trade-off, but that's gonna be your team building. It's gonna be your team building job to make this shine. Next we have the Superpower set. Like I mentioned before, Chansey and Blissey do really well into special offensive Nidoking, but and we don't like physical Nidoking, but Nidoking still has a good physical attack, and Superpower being a really strong base fighting attack allows Nidoking to 2-hit KO Blissey. It doesn't 2-hit KO Chansey, but if you get chip off on Chansey, you suddenly will be able to knock out the Chansey. For example, you Sludge Wave on the Blissey switch, then you switch out, and if they don't click Soft Boil, you force them up, and you force out Blissey. You can you force out Chansey. You can suddenly 2-hit KO him. Yeah, this is mainly for Blissey specifically, because yeah, Chansey does eat 2 superpowers from this set. You can run Sucker Punch as well, but I'm not really a fan. You don't really see Alakazam. You don't see Gengar much, and Chandelure will still take it really well, because Chandelure is quite bulky. And if Sucker Punch is not super effective, the faster Pokemon like Garchomp don't care too much about Sucker Punch. So in that sense, wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, Superpower can be really good as mixed Nidoking. Then we have Nidoking with 3 attacks. I basically running the coverage moves I mentioned earlier, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Ice Beam, and then running maybe Substitute or Taunt. Substitute can be a really good set because Nidoking forces a lot of switches. And if your Pokemon doesn't have a good dedicated special wall, you can bring it in on something it can kill. For example, it can come in on Weezing, and then click substitute as they switch out into their Rotom, and then you don't have to predict. Because if you go Nidoking into a Weezing and you click Earth Power and they switch into their Rotom, Rotom is gonna live that Sludge Wave. But if you go Nidoking into Weezing, click substitute as they switch into Rotom, you suddenly be able to click Sludge Wave 2 times without taking a Hydro Pump. That's basically what I mean with Nidoking forcing out the switches. You can run Taunt as well. This can help in shutting down. Like, Sludge Wave is still gonna do some damage to Chansey and Blissey, for example, and then taunting them to prevent them from healing and then switching out can be really cool. Like a bunch of options. You can also run Nidoking. I come back on this later on, actually. Let's go to the next set. Because, yeah, Nidoking also has access to Stealth Rock and Toxic Spikes. And by the way, what I forgot to mention is Nidoking being a poison type, allowing it to resist fighting type attacks in a meta where you'll pretty much see a fighting type in every team, like be it Mienshao, Conkeldurr. And Nidoking being able to resist those attacks is really nice, especially Mienshao, because Mienshao usually runs Stone Edge. It rarely uses Hidden Power Ice, but even still, Nidoking can take the Hidden Power Ice and just knock out Pokemon in return. Nidoking against Conkeldurr, because he's a poison type, he resists the Mach Punch, so he can get a super strong Sludge Wave above before Conkeldurr can do something. And if Conkeldurr doesn't run Facade or Ice Punch, it usually cannot KO the Nidoking either. So in that sense, Nidoking also really nice to check Conkeldurr. And yeah, like I mentioned before, Nidoking forcing out the switches. So you can get Nidoking into a Pokemon that can kill. And if you expect them to switch to Chance, you can get up Stealth Rock, for example. You can do the same with Toxic Spikes. But you can also run Nidoking with a Focus Sash on more offensive teams. You can use him as a lead as well. Also an amazing Suicide lead with Taunt and the coverage he has, of course. So you have a lot of options with the Nidoking, but yeah, it suffers from only being able to run 4 moves. Because if this Pokemon could run 5 moves, that thing would be broken, man. That would be insane. But yeah, those are the movesets. Like I mentioned before, you can run it physical and be successful. But yeah, the physical set does get walled by common physical walls like Hippowdon, Gliscor. Basically, any Pokemon that doesn't take a 4-time super effective attack from Nidoking. Oh, no dual typings, basically. And yeah, let's what can we talk about more? Those are the sets, some good team options. I think Rotom Wash is going to be his best partner. Because Rotom Wash gets rid of his ground weakness, being a poison type. It gets rid of his water weakness, because Rotom Wash is a water type. Gets rid of his ice weakness, because Rotom Wash is a water type. So a lot of weaknesses already covered. And Rotom gives us the Volt Switch. Say we click Volt Switch, then we can get in Nidoking to get amazing damage. An amazing partner as well being Mienshao, because which Pokemon will Nidoking mostly struggle against? Chansey, because Chansey will pretty much eat up any special attack. So if you get in Mienshao, basically eliminates Chansey and Blissey with the close combat. And the Pokemon Mienshao struggles against being things physical walls like Weezing, Hippowdon, Skarmory. You can U-turn and get in the Nidoking and basically destroy them. It's most of the times we will be running the first set. This set, so Skarmory takes this on really well too. Like usually Spadef Skarmory can do really nice into Nidoking. But that's only if it's running the substitute set. It really depends on what kind of Nidoking set you face. Yeah, Mienshao, an amazing partner. Scizor, also a really good partner, getting rid of the ice type weakness. Think about Weavile, think about Mienshao. It can live a hit from Starmie too. And it can use Pursuit as well on Starmie. But yeah, again, you turn on things like Skarmory, Pokemon that like to come in on Scizor, Weezing as well, get in a Nidoking, and be really threatening. Some other parties, yeah, obviously Chansey and Blissey work really well because faster Pokemon like Superior, Starmie, Hydreigon, they want to kill they can kill Nidoking. You can bring in a special wall against them. Obviously, any physical wall, Skarmory does really well together. Hippowdon still does really well together in taking the ground type attacks from Garchomp, for example. And yeah, Nidoking mostly fits on bulky offensive and balanced teams. If you run it on hyper offense, it usually needs Focus Sash because it's gonna be slower. It can run Life Orb as well on hyper offense. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it will be difficult to get Nidoking in because hyper offense usually has trouble getting Nidoking in. So basically, in hyper offense, Nidoking comes in and it might get a kill, but then dies the turn after. So those are some teammates. I will definitely start using Nidoking in the future soon. And yeah, how to deal with Nidoking? Like it's really difficult to defend against Nidoking. But yeah, you have a lot of Pokemon that are faster. So the Garchomps, the Hydreigons, the Weaviles, the Crobats, those kind of Pokemon that are all faster. So just look at Pokemon who are faster and have a strong attack to damage Nidoking. And in most cases, you'll be fine on revenge killing him. Some walls, yeah, obviously Chansey and Blissey, but you can run Spadef Milotic. He doesn't die from a 2-hit KO. He doesn't get 2-hit KO by Thunderbolt. And you can run Spadef Hippowdon, because Sludge Wave into Ice Beam is not a kill, for example. And yeah, you can still run Spadef Rotom, but most of the times it involves you predicting which attack Nidoking will go for. It's like you can still bring in your Garchomp on Nidoking if you expect him not to go for Ice Beam. Choice Banded Scizor as well. If the Nidoking doesn't run Flamethrower. Because Choice Banded Bullet Punch still does a lot. It doesn't KO Nidoking though, but does well in coming in on the Sludge Wave or Ice Beam, for example, and then Bullet Punching him. If you're running full speed attack, then Earth Power is gonna lot, if not kill you, I'm not sure. So be careful there. And yeah, Porygon 2 also really solid wall into the Nidoking. You can run Slowking as well. But Death Togekiss can be run as well because it's not a fairy type. In this game, the fairy type doesn't exist, so it doesn't have to worry about Sludge Wave. And it can take an Ice Beam. But you can also run things like if you're facing modest, obviously timid Togekiss. But that's why I like timid Nidoking. Always being faster than Togekiss unless it's Choice Scarfed. And yeah, if you are facing a Choice Scarf Nidoking, it's a bit easier switching into it, especially because they will be locked into a move. But it's only if you're not running Hyper Offense. Yeah, Nidoking is gonna be an amazing Pokemon. I really like to use it together with with the Volturn, of course. Like I said, Chansey, an amazing partner. Chansey Blissey being able to teleport as well into the Nidoking. Like, this Pokemon can be a monster. Anyway, that's me mumbling on about the Nidoking. Like I said, I don't have a script for these kind of videos. I'm just telling you guys what's on my mind. And hopefully you enjoy these kind of videos. I usually don't like to write down a script. Too much work. Like I just want to have fun and joy. I do like talking about Pokemon. And yeah, basically giving you guys my thoughts. If you enjoy them, let me know by leaving a like, comment down below as well if you have any questions. Subscribe to the channel as we are on our way to 3.5k subscribers soon. Hopefully we can get it before the end of the year. And yeah, definitely check out my Patreon. There are going to be some Nidoking streams soon on Patreon. If you guys are interested. And yeah, join our Discord server as well if you'd like to discuss more. The Discord has been really active, even though I've been on a hiatus lately because of personal reasons, you guys know. But yeah, I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to continue everything because I'm still waiting for a few new hidden abilities to get released before I restart the road to top 100 / road to top 10. But yeah, 26 minutes in, really long video, talked about a lot. Hopefully I give you guys a better understanding of how to use the Nidoking. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.